Assalamualaikum and good evening, guys. So welcome back. I'm looking at this Food Act and regulation. Interestingly, I'm looking at regulation number 63 on pasta. It says here in this regulation, pasta means any product including noodles, bihun, laksa, macaroni and spaghetti that is obtained by extruding or molding units of dough. And pasta shall be comprised principally of cereal, meal, and may also contain carbohydrate, eggs, solid, salt, and any other food. And then pasta may contain permitted coloring substance. You can add color and transglutaminase. Sulfur dioxides or sulfides as a permitted food conditioner. So you can add enzyme transglutaminase to make it stronger. No pasta shall be labeled with the word egg or any word of similar meaning unless that pasta contains not less than 4% of egg solids, calculated on a water-free basis. Okay, so that means that you want to produce noodle. Remember we talked about noodle standards in produced by Sirim the other day. So you must also have a look at this regulation number 63 on pasta, Food Act and regulations. Okay, so there are 4 types of standard now. Of course, the most important thing is for you to have a look at the Food Act and regulation. Just now there is a lots of different types of food. I did not count. I do not know. They provide the identity standards, and you must follow this. Is a compulsory. And then we have a standard prepared by Sirim, for instance, for specific food products. So like I mentioned, you want to produce instant noodles or air dried noodles. Okay, you can purchase the Sirim standards, and also you have to have a look, or you can buy this Food Act and regulations. It's quite cheap, about 20 something ringgit. And then having all this, you want to export somewhere. It's good for you to have a look at this Codex International Food Standards. Make sure that the country or this international standard is that you are able to fulfill this international standard. And then you develop your own company standard. Your company have different standard maybe, and should be higher than this food regulation standard, the Sirim standard, and should fulfill the Codex International Food Standard if you mean to export the products. Okay, you can Google Codex Alimentarius International Food Standards. Well, we're not going to go into details, but basically this Codex Alimentarius is all about collection of standards for quality, safety, and also suitability of food. So it also has any other things essential for food processing, such as principles of food hygiene, standard for maximum residual levels for pesticides, veterinary drugs in food. So make sure during your free time you can Google it and study it. I mean it's not important for us now, because for us we focus more on general aspects of quality, and we also do food safety. So for this particular lecture, we're going to focus basic food safety, just to equip the course with because there's also aspects of safety within food quality, so we should also cover a little bit on food safety. You have learned this somewhere, probably in food safety, the definition of hazards, the fact that hazard can be divided into chemical types, microbiological and physical, and by definition it is any substance that is reasonably likely to cause harm, injury or illness when present above established acceptable level. So we're gonna have a look here at the first types of hazard called biological hazards. So anything to do with pathogenic bacteria, viruses and parasites. And if you study hazard, this particular bacteria E. coli 0157H7 L monocytogenes, certain C. perfringens, botulinum and Staph aureus and Campylobacter jejuni are the most common pathogens, and some viruses and some parasites. Yeah. So food regulatory agencies like MOH have established acceptable level of hazards for most hazards, and for some hazards like these pathogens, they already established the tolerance that is 0. Therefore they shouldn't have this particular pathogens inside a particular food products. Okay guys. Alright, for chemicals types of hazards, they will allow permitted food additives. This include vitamins, preservative, stabilizers. You learn this again and again in Food Act regulation. You learn again and again in food safety. But there is specified maximum levels there that we must fulfill, because it can be harmful if present above the maximum allowable established level. They have done study. They know that even though these vitamins and preservatives and stabilizers considered safe at a certain level, after a certain level is achieved, it can be harmful. So some chemicals can be harmful even if present at below maximum allowable level, like sodium bisulfite. No, sodium is bad for health, because this can bisulfite can trigger asthmatic attack in susceptible individuals. So you see certain products, it has this warning that it can trigger asthmatic attack if the bisulfite is present in certain amount. Okay, then you have naturally occurring harmful compounds like oxalate in rhubarb, alkaloids in potatoes, toxin in mushroom and shellfish. Harmful if in excess. And then you have unavoidable contaminants. You cannot remove it through processing or manufacturing, like aflatoxin from molds in peanuts or some cereals. So in these products, there is a normal level. If a normal level is increased to an unsafe level because of mishandling, maybe you don't store it properly, not right temperatures, then the substance is considered an added harmful substance. Wow. Okay. And then we have agricultural residues. Yeah, for instance, pesticide, herbicides, fungicide, drugs, hormones, antibiotics. That's why I want you to browse Codex and see whether you can find the established maximum residual levels for this pesticide, herbicide, fungicide, etc. So residual chemicals found in food are directly attributable to certain substances that have been approved for use in the production of crops in the primary production, during production in the farm. So they are approved, but the level in food must be properly controlled. And then we have industrial contaminants. You may have heard this: PCB, polychlorinated biphenyls, heavy metals, lead, mercury, arsenics, organochlorinated compounds. And some of these already spelled out in regulation. I mean, how much in terms of ppb or ppm of these heavy metals that should be there. And then they have established tolerance for PCB in several foods. Yeah. All of this because of course, industrial activity. If the factory is by the river, they can contaminate the river with these heavy metals and this organochlorinated compounds, PCB. Okay, and then there is chemical residues that's not permitted in food but used during certain operations. So of course you have cleaners, you have sanitizers, you have lubricators. These are not supposed to enter into food. Yeah, so care must be taken to prevent the unintentional contamination. That means you must have the SOP and you have to follow this SOP properly. Of course, prohibited chemicals that is not supposed to come into contact. Some chemicals are specifically prohibited either from direct addition or indirectly through food contact surfaces. And finally, food allergens, talking about products such as peanuts, soybean, milk, eggs. Some of you can't even eat eggs, fish, crustaceans, tree nuts, and wheat. Yeah, so certain foods contain inherent, this is internally already there, inherent components that causes serious immunological allergic responses in a relatively small proportion of consumers. Small, but if they happen to eat this product, it can be fatal. So you have to be extra careful on the allergen as well. Okay, number 3, physical hazards. It can be organics and inorganics. I think easily inorganic can be like your watch, something that you put on your fingers, ring, can drops, your hair. That's organic. Yeah. So these are the examples of substances. Sometimes they call it foreign objects, foreign matter, or extraneous matter. Some of them, most of them are hard and sharp. It can be a concern in terms of injury if you happen to eat or swallow. That's bad news. Yeah. Okay, and then the natural components in this product, like prunes, dates, pits, bones, nutshell. If it is natural, it's not a hazard because consumers know about it. The problem is when the product is declared as pitted, or it's not supposed to have the pits in pitted prunes, and then people assume it has no pits and they swallow it, then it's going to be a problem. Yeah. And avoidable physical hazard like broken glasses, plastic, metal pieces. So sometimes we have this metal detector. We want to detect all these metal pieces, wood pieces, stone, personal articles. So all of these have to be controlled. And as a food technologist, you have to think about control. Think of other. Should also be able to think of other food safety concerns other than all these 3. Yeah. And of course, because you know all these 3 hazards, you are the best person to assure the quality and safety of food. Your friend from School of Biology, School of Chemistry, even School of Physics, they have no clue how to control these 3 hazards. So again, food safety and food quality, which one is more important? They are equally important, and food safety is a part of food quality. Okay, but there's no point to be of high quality if it is not safe. But we cannot discuss food safety here. You have another course on food safety. I hope you will focus on food safety in another course, and for this course we focus on food quality only. Okay guys, so take care, happy learning, take care again, bye.